Premier League rule changes for 2023-24 season explained. The laws that govern the game of football have been argued over for centuries. When the first unified set of rules was being thrashed out in London's Freemasons a tavern in 1863, banning the practice of hacking a deliberately kicking an opponent mid-dribble caused an uproar. A Mr. Campbell from Blackheath lamented, "You will do away with the courage and pluck of the game, and I will be bound to bring over a lot of Frenchmen who would beat you with a week's practice." More than a century and a half later, the laws of the game are still being tweaked, with hacking long since outlawed. Here are the rule changes that have been made ahead of the 2023-24 Premier League season and how they may impact players from France and everywhere else. Number 1 is accurate added time, an initiative that was first launched by FIFA, World Football's governing body, at the Men's World Cup in winter 2022, is set to be taken up by the English FA ahead of the World Cup. Rui Colino, a former referee now employed by FIFA, warned in a match there are on average 9 minutes wasted on throw-ins. It is almost the same for goal kicks. The average amount of stoppage time in matches at the World Cup was a lengthy 12 minutes, with Premier League teams like Newcastle United and Brentford gaining a reputation for tactical delays. Time wasting became an increasingly hot topic in the English top flight last season. The list of amended rule changes provided by the Football Association only stipulated goal celebrations are to become a separate bullet point in the list of causes of time lost for which the referee makes allowance. But Sky Sports reported that one match official claimed it will now be a rarity if a top-flight game lasts less than 100 minutes. Number 2 is offside explained. The game's lawmakers have made another stab at streamlining the increasingly complex offside rule. The latest amendment tries to distinguish the difference between deliberate play and a deflection. A player in an offside position is deemed to have gained an advantage and thereby broken the rules, or when they become active once the ball has rebounded or been deflected off the goalpost, crossbar, match official, or an opponent. If the offside player is receiving the ball from an opponent who deliberately plays the ball, then they have not gained an advantage, and so the flag stays down. The problem with this law is what constitutes deliberate play in a deflection. As of 2023-24, deliberate play is when a player has control of the ball with the possibility of passing the ball to a teammate or gaining possession of the ball or clearing the ball, for example by kicking or heading it. It does not matter if the action was successful as long as it was deliberate. Number 3 is goalkeeper antics. Any fans of Bruce Grobbelaar or Jerzy Dudek's distraction tactics will be dismayed by the latest update regarding a goalkeeper's influence over a penalty taker. According to the reworded Law 14, the goalkeeper must not behave in a manner that fails to show respect for the game and the opponent, that is, by unfairly distracting the kicker. The rule had previously prohibited a keeper from touching the goalpost's crossbar or goal net until the ball has been kicked, but by making the phrasing more vague, the referee can clamp down on any conduct that they deem to be a sporting. Number 4 is technical area regulations. The Premier League's new participant and fan behavior charter was ushered in on the eve of the 2023-24 season after referees Chief Howard Webb lamented the decline in behavior towards officials. Webb explained, "We have too often confused unacceptable behavior as passion. We've turned a blind eye or a deaf ear. Many of the entirely new rules for the coming season have been drawn up to combat this issue, which, according to Webb, has spawned copycat behavior at grassroots levels, and that's resulted in people either quitting as referees or not choosing to take up the whistle. Under the new measures, just 2 people are allowed to be on their feet in the technical area at any one time, but only one person can stand at the front of the technical area and coach during the match." Newcastle's assistant manager Jason Tindall has attracted ire from opposition coaches and fans in the past for his front-foot approach alongside Eddie Howe. Those seated are not allowed to challenge a referee's decision with technology, although VAR officials are still encouraged to, and no member of staff is permitted to enter the pitch at any time before, during, or after the match. Persistent infringements will result in increasing fines.